All right. Of course. My microphone wanted to forget what it was doing. Gotta love that. There you go. And okay. All right. There you go. Okay, we're all good. All right. We're live. We got everything hooked up. We're doing a little bit more advanced setup this time. So I'm actually broadcasting to YouTube and Blaze now, in addition to Twitch and Rumble and Honeycomb. Yeah, multi-streaming gets fun. So with that, one thing I got to do is I really got to get a better chat aggregator. I got to get a good chat aggregator. All right. So anyway, welcome to the live stream. Hold up, I got some. Oh yeah, no, that's myself yammering at me. There you go. All right, that's paused. Okay, so welcome to the live stream. So gonna take a quick minute here, and gonna send some announcements. So welcome to July 1st. I got the big 250th July 4th celebration this weekend. It's going to be fun. I don't have a lot of stuff planned. I just genuinely don't. Let's see here. All right. All right. Let's remove all the embeds because that takes up way too much space. All right. So I hope everyone is having a good morning. People are filing in. We're gonna be talking a lot about. Let's see here. Let's see here. Good morning. Sending out a couple announcements here while I'm waiting for people to hop in. Yeah, we'll post that one there when I'm done. Let's see here. Yeah. Let's see here. It should be. It's about good. All right. That's good enough on that. We're going to put that away. Got to exit out a couple things so I don't get a bunch of random dumb notifications during the live stream. All right. We're good. So, all right. So, welcome to Ferrell Swim Tech. My name is John Ferrell. This is the live stream where I take my 15 years of racing experience and over 14 years of private coaching experience to help you get faster in the water. So today we are going to talk about goggles, all things goggles. Now, I've obviously done this episode a number of times before, But it seems worth repeating because I see people all the time, everywhere, that complain about swim goggles. So I feel like we need to have a refresher about swim goggles. Number one, so you are not taken in by gimmicks. Number two, I'm going to save you a lot of money. Like a lot of money. A lot of the swim goggles can easily be the outside of a wetsuit in terms of, so a wetsuit is like your bike. You buy a wetsuit and you use it for many years. A wetsuit is truly an investment. Now, your goggles are like your running shoes, your training shoes. They're not your racing shoes, your nice fancy carbon-plated racing shoe. Like, I don't have my training shoes out here. But they are your goggles are like your training shoe. You replace them a lot. And then you have your nice fancy goggles that you use for racing, okay? Now, obviously, there's a couple exceptions here. Yes, form goggles is the exception. Form goggles will always be the exception, as noted on this broadcast. So let's kind of start with there. This is a standard pair of swim goggles. Actually, to tell you the truth, these are slightly upgraded, and I'll explain why a little bit later on in the broadcast. But this is a standard pair of swim goggles. I use these for my lessons. I use these for I don't use these for training. I train in my form goggles like 99% of the time. By the way, if there's anyone in chat that has specific questions about goggles, just fire them away during this broadcast. Absolutely, you're in chat. Ask questions, because I know people joined this one specifically because they got big questions about goggles. Goggles can be very frustrating. They can be very frustrating, but there's some very basic principles that can make your life very much so easier. See what I did there? I kept using very because I'm an engineer, not an English major. So, all right. So, goggles. Let's talk about the different parts of the goggles. Okay, first off, you got the goggle strap. Now, you're going to see a trend with my goggle strap. All my goggle straps, except my racing ones, are bungee straps. I love bungee straps, but we'll talk about the different types of goggle straps. And then you have the gasket. So the gasket is the part that actually sits on your face, okay? You have the gasket, and then what the gasket is designed to do, it is designed to create a seal around your eye, so the water doesn't get in it. The gasket is absolutely, bar none, the most important part of your goggle when swimming in pools. We'll talk about lens tint in a minute. So then you have the gasket, and then you have the lens. The lens is the thing that you see through, okay? Now, some goggles are designed to where they have good peripheral vision. Some goggles are really only designed with straightforward tunnel vision, okay? Now, peripheral vision, not necessarily needed, especially if you're training, okay? Peripheral vision is overrated for pool training. Okay, now I got to talk. There's a huge, you're going to see that I talk about pool goggles and open water swimming goggles very differently. There are huge differences and very different things you want to consider for pool swimming and open water swimming, okay? So anyway, peripheral vision, so stuff that's over here, is there's some goggles that are very good with it. Some goggles are not. That's a decision that's up to you. What I'm telling you as a long-time, darn near professional, peripheral vision for training is 1,000% overrated. You do not need that. Racing, I've used peripheral vision in racing all the time. Like literally all the time. I'm always keeping track of my competitors 2 to 3 lanes away from me. It's a part of the mental calculus that I always had during races. Now, triathlon, let's be serious, I'm always out in front with very, very few exceptions. So, peripheral vision for me is overrated with regards to open water swimming, just because I'm always sighting and looking out, and I can take pretty quick looks. Oh, I can look pretty quick and maintain my stroke rhythm, so I don't really need peripheral vision when it comes to racing. Okay, yeah, so that's it. So that's it for vision concerns. Now, one major consideration with goggles that you're going to want to look into is if they offer a prescription version of goggles. Now, if basically you need to consider prescription goggles if legitimately you cannot see, okay? And this has a huge deal to do with racing, okay? Because when you're in a pool, I have friends that literally wear Coke bottom glasses. I had friends that were very visually impaired. Lauren, love you, Lauren. So I've known people that have had really bad vision with goggles, and they're just like, I can barely see the clock, and I just leave when everyone else leaves. So vision, crystal clear vision while swimming. It's something that you have to know what your personal level is. And this is gonna have a lot to do with foggy goggles that we're gonna talk about a little bit. Excuse me, a little bit later on. Okay, so that goes over the one last thing is the nose bridge. Nose bridge is this black piece right here, and that's what ties the two. This is what ties the two lenses together. You know what? I gotta get a drink. I thought I was gonna be okay without a drink. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna run to my fridge. I shall be right back. It's like my mouth was starting to feel like gum. Like, bleh. All right. Sorry about that. There you go. Soda, disintegrate all the junk in my throat for me. Ha 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 ha. All right. So, when it comes to goggles, what are certain things that you need to consider? Number one, first and foremost, always buy a bungee strap for your. This is my honest to goodness 100%. This will revolutionize your swim. This will revolutionize your life. There are very, very, very few people I have ever known that cannot use bungee straps, okay? I've known women that wear them. I've known men that wear them, children that wear them. These goggle straps are, bar none, the best goggle straps on earth. So let's talk goggle straps for a minute. Now, goggle straps used to only come in one major flavor, and that was latex. Latex goggle straps. Let me bring this out. This is my lovely set of archaic Swedish goggles. You cannot buy these. They've been rebranded and picked up by another thing. Okay. This is a latex goggle strap. It's rubber. It is a rubber goggle strap. I hate them. I do not like latex goggle straps for a number of reasons. Number one, they tend to disintegrate very fast with chlorine, and if you are like me and you just chuck your goggles in your bag and you run home, they wind up getting all nasty and gross, and then they can snap at a moment's notice. Okay. Latex goggle straps are something that you absolutely want to avoid. You really don't see them much anymore. You see latex with really, really cheap goggles. But a lot more manufacturers are going to silicone. So latex straps are very much so on their way out in terms of there's a high probability you might actually never see latex goggle straps, like I said, unless you buy absolute bargain bin goggles. Like you buy very, very cheap goggles, you're probably going to see a latex strap. And this is just rubber. It's just a thin piece of rubber, goes around your head. There's different little clips and stuff like that you can use to adjust them. Don't bother. A good bungee cord will last you years. I had one bungee strap, and it lasted me 4 years of 20 hours a week in college. Yeah, they're fantastic. The only thing that can wear out on these is this little clip. I've had a Sporty, Sporti. I actually had the clip, the little spring in this clip. And by the way, bungee strap, you looser, more tight. That's the thing. It's a very simple system, but it works. It works very, very, very well. I've had one clip, the metal spring in the clip disintegrated because it totally rusted out, and that was a Sporty brand. So I would avoid Sporty brand. They make decent suits and a bunch of other really, really bargain bin stuff, but do not buy their bungee straps. Their bungee straps are garbage. So bungee straps for goggles. So they you can see right here, they just thread right through where the strap goes, and you can put them on almost any goggles. Like there are very few goggles that you can't do it. Like number one, if it has ratchet, like if there's a little ratchet, so there are some goggles that have a little ratchet right here. Also avoid those, please. They are terrible goggles. Worst goggle strap invention ever. Because, okay, sorry. I jump all over the place when I talk about goggles because there's just so many random things that we can talk about. Remember, if you're in chat, you got a specific question you want asked, please ask it in chat. I will be glad to jump to it and talk about it. So when it comes to goggle strap types, there's a couple different types. Let's see here. You know what? We can go to our good friend, swimoutlet.com. Oh my gosh, that's right. My dang Stream Deck ain't working. You're not what I want. All right. And pop. There you go. Swimoutlet.com. Nope. There you go. Okay. Now, where did my... There you go. All right. And Ferrell Slim Tech and analysis. All right. There we are. So I like swimoutlet.com because they got a huge, huge, huge selection. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. This is a prime example of a ratchet strap goggles. So you see these little guys right here. So that's kind of like more like a scuba mask, kind of a goggle ratchet system. Don't buy those. Do not buy them. They fail very quickly, and it's not worth it. They promise good adjustability. This works way better for adjustability because you can make very, very, very small adjustments, okay? And then what's awesome is that it gets to the point where you use the goggles so much, there's a permanent indentation in your favorite tension setting. So then you don't have to guess. You just go, okay, it just slotted right. It feels like it slots right in. It's fantastic. So bungee straps. So this is a ratchet system. I would very much so avoid this. They just don't work the way as intended. All right. Next, let's go here. Okay. So this is actually my racing set of goggles. So what I highly recommend is you have your training goggles and you have your racing goggles. You do not use your training goggles for racing. There's a couple very, very important reasons why. And if you really like the goggle, have one set for racing, one set for training, okay? So what I personally do is I use one set of racing goggles per season, okay? So I go about 4 to 5 different races with a single set of goggles, and then I swap them out, and those become my training goggles, okay? So now, full disclosure, I race both standard sprints and reverse sprints. If I'm swimming a reverse sprint and I'm just in a pool, I'm just using my training goggles. It's 150 or 200 yards. I don't care. I don't need fancy optics for swimming 150 to 200 yards in a pool. Okay? I do not need absolute pristine crystal clear goggles. Now, I'm swimming open water. I need very clear vision. That is why I have a designated set of racing goggles. Now, these are the Roka R1s, okay? And the reason I'm showing you these right now, silicone straps, okay? These are silicone straps. Silicone straps, on average, tend to be a little bit stiffer because they are they're about the same thickness. So, silicone straps vary by manufacturer. They're not all the same. Basically, all latex straps are the same. Not all silicone straps are the same, okay? Now, silicone straps are actually pretty good. They are very durable. They're very durable in terms of stretching and chemical resistance. Silicone performs very nice in chlorine environments. I just don't use these during training just because I don't want to mess them up. I want these to be as pristine as possible for race day. Okay? So, so silicone straps. So you see here, a lot of these goggles are all silicone strap. Okay? Silicone, no, those are silicone 100%. Those are silicone. You can always tell if it is a latex strap because it's matte. Silicones are a bit shiny, okay? So like right here, sporty bungee strap. Avoid this. It's very cheap, but it will rust out on you, okay? Guaranteed 100%. So yeah, looks like the straps on all of these are silicone. Okay. We got to talk about swim masks. All right? Okay. Okay. So, we're going to now you like the Roka R1s. Yes. I just like the Roka ones for racing. I can't spend that much money on a set of training goggles. I'm too prideful. So, let's talk gaskets. Okay? Remember, the gasket is this inner part of the goggles. This part is the part that is actually touching your skin, okay? Now, I used to wear what are called Swedish goggles. These are Swedish goggles, okay? Swedish-style goggles came with a string for a nose bridge. I now use yo-yo string for a nose bridge. 2 lenses, and a silicone strap. And that was it. That's what you got. They came in this lovely little bag. The Swedish original Montebara goggles. So these are always called sweets. You will notice there is no rubber on this thing. This is a single hard piece of plastic. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. They dig into your eyes. They are super uncomfortable, but my gosh, they worked. And any swimmers in the 90s and the early 2000s, you saw these goggles everywhere. I'll show you my new favorite Swedish style goggles, which are the Socket Rocket 2.0s by Tier. They took the original Swedish formula and they perfected it because of the gasket. All right. So sorry, that's starting to fog up because my eye fog. So this is the extreme where there is nothing. Okay, there is nothing here. Now, what you see here is the opposite extreme with the massive gasket. Okay, so with this gasket, with this swim mask gasket, this starts here, goes all the way up and around your eyebrows, all the way up to here. Okay, now don't buy a swim mask. You look like a dork. Like, genuinely. Okay, swim masks are for people that genuinely do not want to swim fast. Like, you have to not want to swim fast to wear a swim mask, okay? Because I cannot, like, the only reason I could ever think of wanting a swim mask is if I'm swimming for, like, 10,000 yards. Like legitimate, like, ultra distance swimming is the only reason I could ever think you're going to want to wear a swim mask. Everything else is a very, very bad excuse for absolutely losing time like no other. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the hydrodynamics of the goggles do not need to be considered unless we're talking about swim masks, okay? Swim mask is like the ultimate extreme. Please don't go with a swim mask, okay? Unless you want to literally pretend to be a scuba diver. That's the only reason I can say to buy a swim mask. You see them by a lot of different manufacturers. But yeah, okay. So like here, this Vezi, there's your ratchet strap system. Avoid this. Please avoid this. You're going to save yourself a whole lot of issues. Okay. So let's see here. Okay. So this one actually has, okay. So another thing I want to talk about is nose bridges. All right. So let's talk about nose bridges because, I get people that complain about nose bridges a lot. So goggle manufacturers on average, they make a very big design choice when it comes to their goggles. The average human eye is X amount of inches apart. I don't know what it is. But anyway, lots of manufacturers, they create a standard nose bridge. All right. So this Speedo goggle right here, this is a integrated nose bridge. That's what this is called. This is called an integrated nose bridge. The Roka R1s have an integrated nose bridge. So this is the Arena Swipe goggle. So this one has a connected nose bridge, okay? So there's an actual little piece here that clips in, and this creates the nose bridge. So let me introduce to you the Magic 5 goggles, okay? Now, you may notice I do not have goggle straps on these. Why is that? Because I don't wear them. I keep these around for instructional purposes only. So, the Magic 5, this will actually come with a number of nose bridges. All right? So, with lots of fancier goggles, what will wind up happening is that they will give you a couple different types, a couple different sizes, and then it's up to you to figure out which one that you want to use. All right? Because the nose bridge is all about comfort. It is all about comfort. Okay? It is all about comfort and making sure the water does not leak at your nose. All right? Here's a very quick test to see if you need to change your nose bridge. Can you feel the water seeping in right here on your nose bridge? If yes, change your nose bridge. If it's seeping out here, okay, it's your goggle tension. Almost 100%. Unless you feel a heavy pinch here. Okay? So usually, if it's right at your nose bridge, the leaking is about in this part of the goggles, somewhere around here, or around your nose area. It's either number one, your nose bridge is too small for your nose, and your goggles are sitting away on your nose. Or number 2, it is too loose and the goggles are separated. The goggle lenses are too far out and it's breaking that seal right here. Okay? So that's up to you to check and see what is going on with that. Now, let me talk. So we were talking about goggle gaskets. So let me talk about Magic 5. Full disclosure, Magic 5 is a partner with Zoot. Ferrell's Swim Tech does not necessarily represent the the opinions of Zoot, Zoot Sports, Team Zoot, or any of our affiliates. These opinions are 100% my own. These goggles are an absolute ripoff, okay? I cannot recommend these goggles. I'm sorry. I have tried it. They do not do what they claim to do. And you can get the same features with another goggle for a quarter of the price. The price is my killer point, okay? Now, what are Magic 5 goggles? Magic 5 goggles are custom cut goggles to your face. What does that mean? Okay? The lenses are the same. The gaskets are custom cut. You look at this, these are 3D cut goggles according to a facial scan I sent to the manufacturer, okay? This is a set of goggles that are supposed to be fit 100% to my face. I cannot recommend these because they're not worth the money. They are not worth the money. And here's why. Okay? What did Magic 5 claim to do? Eliminate raccoon eyes, eliminate leaking. Okay? So, before we get into that discussion, let's actually talk about what raccoon eyes are. All right? So, all the way around your eye socket, all the way down here, and all the way around here. You have very, very, very tiny, tiny, tiny capillaries, okay? Now, for those of you that failed biology, like I almost did, there's a reason I went into the mathematical sciences and not the anatomical sciences, okay? Also, I can't stand blood. So, capillaries are tiny, 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 tiny little, very fine blood vessels, okay? They are very fine. They are very fragile blood vessels, okay? So, when you put goggles on, you are essentially taking 2 spheres, putting them around your eyes, and then strapping them to your face with your goggle strap, okay? So, your raccoon eyes are 100% dependent on how tight you have your goggles, okay? Now, notice, I will loosen these goggles in real time. There. They are now looser, okay? So, what you need to do is you need to figure out what your tension is, how much tension you want on the goggles, okay? I'm going to loosen them just a little bit more, and then you bring the goggles forward and even out the tension between the 2 straps, okay? So, if you are having raccoon eyes after swimming for 30 minutes, there's 2 things that you can do. Number 1, loosen your gosh darn straps. I can almost guarantee you your goggle straps are way too tight. Okay? They are way too tight. All right? So, if they're way too tight, just loosen them up. All right? So, what you want to do is you actually want to figure out what that sweet spot is to where they're tight enough to where they keep the water out, but they're loose enough to where they don't cause you raccoon eyes. All right? Now, you swim for 2 hours, you're probably going to get raccoon eyes. There's nothing really that you can do about it, all right? Now, a couple of different ways to mitigate that. Number 1, bring your goggles up here, all right? Dunk them in the water, pop, pop, back on, push off, all right? So, taking your goggles off, fairly frequently during practice will help mitigate raccoon eyes, okay? Now, for a lot of you, for almost all of you, when you do this, you're going to find out, oh my gosh, my goggles are foggy. Hold them out here. put them in the water, tap, 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 pop them back on, go. All right? Little drop of water in your goggles is not going to kill you when you're swimming your next 50. There's a lot with goggles that's legitimately just dealing with it. That's one of the biggest things, like fog. We'll talk about fog in a minute. Deal with it. A little bit of water in your little bit of water in your goggles. Deal with it. It's not going to kill you. All right. So, with the Swedish goggles, what I used to do, and I don't have these set up right now, and I don't have a set of Soccer Rocket 2.0s. We would actually take them off, and we'd put them on our forehead like this. We'd turn the goggle strap around, and we would just do this. Now, you can't really do that with these goggles because the way they're constructed, okay? You could easily do that with Swedish goggles. Now, and goggles like these Roka R1s, you cannot do that with them. Magic 5 goggles, what are you even doing? It all has to do with where the strap is located and the goggle construction, okay? Now, okay, so raccoon eyes are 100% a factor of goggle tension, all right? Now, what Magic 5 claims that you can do is since you have a custom cut gasket, when you put these on, you are able, what the claim is that you're able to use the minimal amount of tension to keep these things on your face, which is going to lead to drastically reduced raccoon eyes. I'm sorry, no, that did not happen for me. With my Swedish goggles, I can use I can use the same amount of I can use less tension with Swedish goggles than I can Magic 5. Okay? So, number 2, absolutely does not leak. 100% not true. These did leak. All right? They leak just like any other goggles do. They leak on occasion. They do. But don't get me wrong. My goggles that I wear, they very rarely leak. But they do leak because every once in a while you do something with your eyes underwater, you break that seal just a little bit, boop, little bit of water gets in. It happens. It happens. You just kind of deal with it. But for $70, how much do foam goggles go for nowadays? I remember that they were like $70. How much are they going for? Yeah, for $80. And yes, with Zoot, we get a pretty nice discount. They have a big 4th of July sale going on right now. So, let's see here. Yeah. So, 65 for, 72 for mirrored. I can't recommend that. I just can't. I can't for that price point. $64 for a set of goggles that you're gonna have to replace in 6 months. I'm sorry, I can't recommend that. I don't care how comfortable they are. You can buy goggles for a quarter of that price. You can buy a $15 pair of goggles that are just as comfortable as the Magic 5 goggles, okay? The price point is my number one reason why I cannot recommend Magic 5. I could say, okay, yes, they can be very comfortable. Yes, you probably, maybe I got a bad cut. Maybe the facial scan didn't do what it was supposed to do. I'm willing to entertain those options. I'm sorry, at $65 or at retail $80 to $90, no, because you got to replace these every 6 months, okay? Because anti-fog, all right? Let's talk about anti-fog, all right? So, 90% of all goggle manufacturers use the same anti-fog, okay? The anti-fog is a film they apply to the inner side of the lens, and it is a hydrophobic coating, okay? Hydrophobic means it repels water. That's why they're anti-fog, okay? Now, why do your goggles fog up? Science! Thermodynamics, actually. So your eye, which is kind of disgusting, emits vapor, okay? Your eye is always wet. This is why we blink. This is why we have tears. Our eyes are always wet. So you have them in a enclosed space, okay? What happens is that vapor, the heat from your eye, which this is going to sound very disturbing. You're just going to have to go with me on this. The heat from your eye and the moisture around your eye. Hi, sister. My older sister hates that word, and I love to mock her with it incessantly. You can see right now it's actually starting to fog up a little bit. So the moisture comes out, and then it adheres to the plastic, okay? Now, full disclosure, Swedish goggles do not have an anti-fog coating on these. These little cheap one, the cheap. I used to be able to get these for like $7. Okay, $7 goggles. You cannot beat this. All right, and I would pick up one new set every season. So yeah, so they're now really starting to fog. This one's now starting to fog up since I'm just sitting here and talking. So just on average, your goggles will start to fog up your lens. Now, you exacerbate that by swimming in cold water, okay? You swim in cold water. There's a massive temperature differential between the interior of the goggle and the exterior of the goggle, and the condensation is going to build up like crazy, okay? So it's the same reason why your windshield fogs up on cold and or rainy days. So what winds up happening is all this condensation. You can see right now, you can barely see my eyeball anymore because of all the fog on the goggles, okay? So what winds up happening is the water adheres to your lens and it clouds your vision, okay? So most anti-fog works relatively well, but it has a limit. Why is that? Chemicals, okay? The chemicals of pool water will deteriorate the anti-fog coating, all right? Being in a moist chlorine environment, like your swim bag after you're done, will help deteriorate the anti-fog coating. Being in contact with fresh water will also deteriorate the anti-fog coating, okay? Your goggles anti-fog will not last forever. On average, I get about a month or two out of the anti-fog, and then things start fogging up. It happens. Now, I genuinely do not have a good anti-fog solution. I don't. I don't. There is no miracle spray. There is no miracle baby tear shampoo. There is no miracle thing that's going to stop your goggles from fogging. I'm sorry, it doesn't exist. Now, there are some very good mitigation tactics that companies have used. In comes the Arena Swipe. Here, let me pull these ones up here. Blap. There you go. No, those are the higher end. Oh, by the way, something that you need to understand, you're going to see goggles that are in the $100 range. So like the Arena Cobra Edge Swipe, these 100% are high-end racing goggles. Okay? These are insane high-end racing goggles. You do not need these ever. No. Don't. Genuinely. These are for if you're going for world records, okay? These are Olympian tier goggles. You 100% do not need Olympian tier goggles. Okay, here we are. So these goggles I have are the Arena Air Bold Swipe goggles, okay? So let me see. Here you go. Clear and black. So this is what I have. All right. So what these have kind of an airy gasket, so they're supposed to be more comfortable on your face. These have a slightly larger gasket than normal. The reason why I bring these up is that these have what are called swipe technology, okay? So I think Effortless Swimming, they are heavily marketing a new set of goggles with a nano clear coating, blah, blah, blah. I think it's the same technology here. So essentially what you do with these ones is you get them wet, you actually swipe it with your finger, which for normal anti-fog, that is a huge no-no, okay? That is one of the other big things with anti-fog. You do not touch the interior of your lenses while the anti-fog is really, really good. Once your anti-fog starts going to crap, put your fingers all over it. It's very quick to clear off your goggles. Don't worry about it anymore. After about 4 months of usage, just use your fingers because the anti-fog coating, I can almost guarantee you, is gone. All right? Now, with the swipe technology, I've been wanting to try these because I'm very curious about how they would work. These are amazing. These work very well. However, there is still a limit on these. I dove into the instruction manual, which most goggles actually come with instruction manuals. It's very funny. It's not put goggles on face. But these have a limit of about 100 uses in theory, okay? Now, I only use these for swim lessons, okay? These have very good peripheral vision on them. Yeah, good enough. But I mean, I'm almost always just focused straight on my client. They're pretty comfy. I can say that they're pretty comfy. I've used these for I've actually used these for my races too. I use these for my 2 sprint triathlons, reverse sprints. So you put them on, dunk them in, swipe them with your finger, and they do deliver crystal clear optics for the entirety of your swim session, okay? So if you're looking to pick up a set of these, they're called Arena Swipe. That is the key word, swipe. I'm gonna put these on my Amazon list. I have my own affiliate Amazon list. So if you're curious and you want to give these ones a shot, I can recommend these. The anti-fog does work as advertised. Absolutely does. I haven't figured out the limit of these. For those of you that may be tuning in for the first time, I have not really been able to train swimming since February. I don't have a pool right now. So because of that, and I don't want to take the time out of my schedule to go find a pool to train in. I just don't care enough. I haven't been able to figure out how long these things can last. I haven't figured out a durability yet of these. However, my initial testing, I've been wearing these I've been using these goggles for months. I mean, maybe close to a year. But the anti-fog still works magically. So Arena Swipe, Air Bold Swipe goggles, 100%, I can recommend these. Absolutely. Let me think. What else? Yes. Okay, so we talked about tension, we talked about our kunais, we've talked about anti-fog. So ways to mitigate anti-fog. Or ways to mitigate fog. So number 1, use your fingers. Bring your goggles away, swipe around with your fingers, pop them back on and go. So for my thoughts on foggy goggles, I have learned to just deal with it. Basically, if I'm in the middle of a hard workout and we're doing very fast, repetitive sets to where I maybe only have about less than 5 seconds on the wall, I'm not, if I can see the clock hand, I'm not clearing out my goggles. I'm not clearing out my goggles until the end of the set. Genuinely, foggy goggles is something that you can learn to deal with a lot. You can very easily learn to deal with foggy goggles. Now, the only reasons I would say that you may want to look into something maybe like the Arena Swipe is if your vision impairedness makes it to where you simply cannot see a clock. Okay, if you can't see your watch, can't see your clock, can't see how to figure out your send-offs, okay, probably need clear goggles. That 100% will help. But other than that, really, there's just simply not much. There's a lot that I've been able to tolerate over the years when it comes to foggy goggles. Hi, have a good day. So fogging goggles, you can mitigate that. Now, during races, okay? Racing is a whole, open water racing and open water training is a whole different animal, okay? I highly recommend you buy goggles that have very, very, very good anti-fog. Now, remember, most goggles, the anti-fog is standard. It is a standard coating. There is not much variance. Now, the Swipe, and like I said before, Effortless Swimming also has a goggle that they claim, as far as I can tell, it has the same technology as the Swipe. Now, when it comes to open water, I very much so recommend you have a set for pool swimming, a set for racing, and a set for open water swimming, okay? So for me, I use old racing goggles as my open water goggles, and these are goggles that have never touched chlorine, okay? I always keep my open water racing goggles very separate from my my pool goggles, all right? Because I want to keep my nice open water goggles as nice as possible. All right, so open water considerations. Now we're going to talk about lens tint, okay? So lenses come in all different flavors and colors, all right? I used to have a friend that would wear a red and a green lens on the same goggles. It was insanely weird. She literally had 3D glasses for goggles. She was crazy. Alexis, I'm shout out to you, girl. So, okay. So when you look at, so let's look at this. Okay. So you're going to see lots of different colors. So, so these are a blue. Are these a mirrored? Okay. You're going to see the word mirrored a lot. Okay. When you see the word mirrored, think sunglasses. Okay. These are your sunglasses goggles. And as the Brits say, they're my sunnies. They're your sunnies. You know, your goggles for sunny conditions. I used mirrored goggles all the time because I was a backstroker. When you swim in outdoor pools and you're swimming backstroke at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and you are staring straight at the sun, you're going to want sunglasses on. Yes. Okay. Mirrored goggles, not good for indoor conditions. No, we don't wear our sunglasses indoors unless you're my father-in-law. I wear my sunglasses at night. So if you swim in varied conditions, you're going to want a set of mirrored goggles, and you're going to want a set of not mirrored goggles, okay? So you swim indoors, you swim outdoors. I highly recommend you get a set of mirrored goggles, get a set of not mirrored goggles. like I said, the reason why is because light conditions, okay? Light conditions can vary. There are lots and lots and lots of different light conditions. So let's actually go to Roka's website. Roblox. How dare Roblox? How dare Roblox get on my screen? That is an abomination. All right, so Roka R1s. So these are the goggles that I wear. I use the Cobalt mirror. All right, no, quiet. So there are a bunch of different. No, I use the dark amber. I use dark amber mirror. That's the lens color that I've chosen for my goggles. So there's vermilion mirror. So that's clear. Cobalt is, so typically they come in blue, they come in clear, and you may see a yellow or an orange. Okay, so now what's nice about Roka is that they actually show you, what the goggle is going to make everything look like, okay? Now, let me go over these different goggle types, and this website does a very good job at showing the differences between all of these, okay? So, okay, so now, Cobalt, blue lenses really help with water. All right. So now we're talking about optics. Okay, these are all going to help with water, but as you can see here, it kind of helps brighten up the ocean. All right. But here's the thing, though. You got to know your swim course. You got to know your swim course, and you got to know where the sun is. All right? You got to know where the sun is and where is the sun angle. This will be a huge part in choosing your specific race goggle for your specific race. Now, this is going to be a little bit more advanced. This is going to be a little more advanced race theory here. We're going to sprinkle this in. But choosing your goggle setup can make or break your race. Let me explain, okay? So we're gonna hop off here. We're gonna hop off there for a second. Okay. So I've been a pool swimmer my entire life. I never did an outdoor swim. I never raced outdoor open water. I've never done an open water race before. So my first race I ever did was a pool swim. It was a reverse triathlon down in Fountain Valley. So they had a little reverse. I did it. It was a 175 pool swim. Just threw my goggles on, did the swim. It was a good time. So then after that, I decided, well, I mean, that wasn't too hard. You know, maybe I'll try an Olympic, okay? So then I went to Malibu. So I went to Malibu, and I did the Malibu Olympic distance triathlon. I loved it. I had a good time. I'm terrible at hills, which is a theme for the rest of my cycling life. But the open water swim went great. You know, it was a northbound swim. So you swam out a little bit, hooked north. It was overcast conditions. We had the marine layer still up at race time. It was perfect. It was fantastic. So then I decided, well, you know what? Cal Tri Events is holding a Olympic distance over at Santa Fe Dam, which is it's like within 10 minutes of my house. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Let's go do this. It was 7 in the morning, and it was westbound and then eastbound, and it was a crystal clear day that day. You know what that means, kids? I'm staring straight at the sun for half the race, okay? You swam westward, you cornered an island, and then you swam back. I was using a very crappy set of training goggles. Training goggles that had well gone past their anti-fog, and I was having an awesome rave show in my face, okay? It was clear lenses, staring straight at the sun, fogged up beyond all recognition. Yeah, that was not a good choice, okay? Because I completely missed the turn. I overshot the last turn, and I had a lifeguard waving me down on a paddleboard. He's pointing toward the shore. I totally missed the turn. I was in the lead. I had a comfortable like 10-15 second lead. I totally blew it because I couldn't see the dang course. Okay, so this was my mistake. This was my absolute rookie swimming mistake that I know a lot of you have possibly done. So going back to the goggle lenses, and we're gonna wrap up here because you know what, we're gonna extend goggle discussion into next week because I actually want to spend a whole episode on Form goggles, okay? I'm on Form goggles comp team. I can absolutely recommend Form goggles. I want to take some time and discuss Form goggles and show you how to use these in order to better your training. I'm going to spend a whole episode on Form goggles. But we're going to finish here with the goggle lenses. So, this dark amber has absolutely changed my life when it comes to racing. 100%. Dark amber is my favorite goggle for racing, okay? Now, the dark gray mirrored, these are like absolute polarized sunglasses, okay? They're not polarized. Now, understand that. You do not find polarized swim goggles unless they're like extreme specialty goggles. So the dark gray amber works for the thing I really like about the dark gray amber is that it's very versatile in low light conditions, okay? Low light conditions, most of my races start at around 7 in the morning. Dark amber has really worked for me. Now, if you got an afternoon swim, you're doing open water swims in the afternoon, it's very sunny conditions, dark gray may work for you. Now, one thing you might want to consider is a yellow lens goggles. If you know you swim in conditions that are low light or indoors, yellow lenses work fantastic. Orange/yellow lenses work fantastic for indoors. All right, these are the orange lenses I used my entire swimming career at BYU. I always used orange goggles. It just helped brighten everything up to where I can actually see things a lot better in moderately well-lit indoor pools. I hate swimming in indoor pools, by the way. I just hate them. So then Rose, this vermilion mirror, that 100% is situational. I would probably never use vermilion. I would either use dark gray or dark amber. The dark amber has been working very well for me. This is what I use down in Long Beach whenever I do my training swims. It just really, really works. Now, let me show you a couple things that don't necessarily matter. Rapid sight. This is it works, I guess. So the thing I like about the R1 goggles is they have a very low profile in terms of how far the goggles sit away from your face. So I'm used to having these goggles. I don't know if you can see this, but these sit very, very close. The lens is very close to the eyeball. That's kind of the same with the Roka R1s. They have a very nice flat profile on my face. I just really like them. And I use them for swimming. I use them for open water swimming, and that's it. Okay. So let me give you one last tip. This is actually my racing tip of how to keep your goggles crystal clear during races. Hopefully you stayed for this. Is actually intentionally allowing water to get in your goggles at the start of the race. Okay? So here's what you do. What you do is you fill your goggles with water, tap them out, get them clear. And then what you do is you go underwater and just barely or you could just kind of dump them out to where there's a good solid drop. There's a good solid water drop in your goggles, okay? Now, this takes training. This takes getting used to. But what you can do is when you have your goggles on, you put a little bit of water in the goggles themselves, and then you swim, and then you go, and then that water drop swishes all around, and it clears all the fog off your goggles. I know this sounds very silly, but 100% this works, okay? This absolutely works. Now, like I said, train with this. Do not run into race day with this idea in your head. John Ferrell said I should just put water in my goggles. You're going to have a bad time, okay? Train with this. Try it out. Mess around with this. Even, honestly, just do it in your backyard pool. Do it in your bathtub, okay? Do trial runs with this before you field test it in open water situations, okay? Because I can almost guarantee you're going to screw it up the first time, okay? 100%, you're going to screw it up the first time, okay? So that's my big tip on keeping your lenses clear actually during the races. So so that's what I got for goggles. Bungee straps are your best friend. Here's my bungee straps. Bungee straps are your best friend, okay? Your next best bet are silicone. Take some time to figure out what's the loosest you can keep your goggles, okay? Don't have your goggles be insanely tight all the time. You're going to get headaches. You're going to get eye aches. You're going to look like someone punched you in the face. It's not fun. Don't do it. Anti-fog is pretty standard amongst all goggle manufacturers with very few exceptions. Arena Swipe is one of them. I can actually recommend that. Check Ferrell Swim Tech later on today. I'm going to go through and I'm going to pop in a number of goggles that I recommend. So Swedish goggles are still king. I will not accept otherwise. Okay, that was mostly a joke for all you pool swimmers out there. But Socket Rocket 2.0s. Oh, you know what? I want to show you those Socket Rocket 2.0s real quick. This will be the last thing, I promise. Tier 2.0. Tier makes pretty good goggles. I like Tier's goggles. Here we are. Adult Socket Rocket 2.0s. Yes. These are glorious. The only thing I recommend, do not use, so these are actually latex straps. Do not use the latex strap as a nose bridge. Do not do this. This is going to cause you problems. I had friends that did this. I could not understand. Use the piece of string provided, okay? Also, the nice thing about this is that you got nose bridge problems, rotate the goggle lens, and then it's tighter or looser. The Socket Rocket 2.0s, these goggles are the 100% most customizable goggle that you can buy on the market for the cheapest, okay? These are now $17. I've seen them for $12. 1 second here. So these are $13. Okay, $13 at Swim Outlet. I think that's because of the sale. $13, $17.50. Yeah. So these are under $20, and they work fantastic. I absolutely, if I wasn't using form goggles, I'm using my Socket Rocket 2.0s for training. All my training is done with Socket Rocket 2.0s. So anyway, that is going to be it for me. So I do apologize. I ran a little long on this one. We covered a lot of material. So like I say, if you got any questions, ferrellswimtech@gmail.com. Any questions whatsoever, please email me. ferrellswimtech@gmail.com for all of your needs. Check me out on Rumble, Ferrell Swim Tech on Rumble. I am working on getting the live streams hooked back up to YouTube. So I have a YouTube channel called Ferrell Swim Tech. I haven't used it for a while just because it was becoming onerous to set up the YouTube channel. So I am attempting to get this reset. Excuse me. To where I can actually use the YouTube channel again alongside the Rumble channel. And yeah, anyway. So I don't want to talk about that for too much just because it's boring and it's a lot of back of house crap. So anyway, so we'll be back next week and we are going to talk all things form goggles next week. So anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And until later, my friends, good night, Isaiah Norris. Wherever you are, I'm out of here.